Federal workers have about 6 hours, 45 minutes to email a summary of what they accomplished last week to Elon Musk, or they risk losing their jobs.
And today, President Trump is embracing that ultimatum, but not every agency is buying into the request.
Confusion and frustration surrounding the latest demand from Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency. Over the weekend, sending an email to millions of federal workers, telling them to justify their jobs by midnight tonight. Today, while hosting French President Emmanuel Macron at the White House, President Trump once again endorsing the billionaire's moves.
I think everyone thought it was a pretty ingenious idea.
Now, several agency heads telling those same workers not to respond, including the Department of Justice. In an email, the Assistant Attorney General for Administration said because of the confidential and sensitive nature of the department's work, employees do not need to respond.
The execution of this email was terrible and seems to have been sent out with almost no coordination from the actual agency heads who were appointed by this administration.
As the Trump administration pushes on with cuts, Republican lawmakers are walking a tightrope, facing backlash from constituents back home, while backing up the president's policies in Washington.
I think it's not a big thing to expect of federal employees to do what we do in the private sector.
House and Senate Democrats who don't have the votes to fight back are relying on the courts to intervene.
What Donald Trump is doing is illegal, it's violative of our Constitution, and it has to be stopped. And I'm proud to see a movement growing that ultimately, I believe, is going to stop Donald Trump from doing these very destructive things.
The president navigating domestic ire and anger overseas, too, as allies question his stance on Ukraine. Mr. Trump meeting with French President Macron and talking to G7 leaders as Putin's brutal war enters its fourth year. In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
And we just learned in the last 45 minutes that DOJ will use AI to assess the responses that's coming in from the federal workers who were told to send this in and justify their job. A group of federal unions is now challenging Musk's email. They amended a lawsuit that was filed last week on Sunday to address the email. The unions claim it's not in compliance with federal regulations. A judge is expected to take up their challenge Thursday.